Menstrual cramps is worrying you, right? I understand. You're not alone. Most people are going through this. But you know the good thing? I'm here for you. I'm going to teach you why you get menstrual cramps and how to manage it. Clap for me. Now let's get it ready. If this is the first time you see my videos, my name is Dr. Shades. I want you to be part of I'm here to make your health the best. Kindly subscribe, share, like, be part of my family. Let's roll together. Menstrual cramps. In medical terms, we call it dysmenorrhea. Today you've learned a new term, right? Dysmenorrhea. It's expected that you should have some degree of pain during your menstruation. I mean, that's how the physiology happens. But that pain shouldn't be too severe that you cannot go to work. That pain shouldn't be severe that you cannot eat your banku and okra stew. That pain shouldn't be too severe that you cannot go to class or you cannot go to school to go and write your exams. That is too much. So at the end of this video, you should understand the normal menstrual pain and the abnormal menstrual pain. Stay with me. Once again, go and subscribe. For you to understand this, you have to understand how menstruation happens so that you understand how the pain is expected and the normal pain and abnormal pain. When you are born as a lady, you have about 2 million eggs in you. By the time you reach age 12, that's puberty, you have about 500,000 eggs. Each we're expected to release 1 egg. And how is the egg released? So, when the time is right, about 15 to 20 eggs are selected. One of the eggs makes sure that it grows to maturity. Now, as this egg is growing, it produces a special hormone. That hormone is called estrogen. I know you've heard of estrogen so many times. If you follow me, you've heard of estrogen. Now, estrogen here is going to do some wonders. Estrogen is going to work hand in hand with the egg cell. It's going to help the egg cell to grow and it's going to do some things. Now, when the egg reaches maturity, estrogen will trigger a feedback mechanism such that the egg is released into the fallopian tube. Now, as the egg is being released, estrogen also goes and works on the uterus, that is the womb, makes it ready to accept pregnancy. So it's going to thicken the womb, make sure that the womb is so ready to receive the pregnancy. So when the egg is released, the egg will stay in the fallopian tube. If sperms get into the fallopian tube, that sperm is going to fertilize the egg. Fertilization occurs, that egg is going to be implanted in the womb, and now pregnancy starts. But then, if no sperm enters the fallopian tube, what happens is that that egg has to be released into the environment because it has expired. It's not going to work again. For it to be released, it has to be released alongside the things that the estrogen went to do in the womb. I told you that the estrogen is going to make the womb ready for implantation, right? So it's going to remove those extra things that the estrogen went to do in the womb. Now, for it to remove that, the womb has to contract powerfully to expel that content. Now, as the womb is contracting, it contracts the blood vessels of the womb itself. That is where the pain comes. For the womb to contract, it needs a hormone called prostaglandin. So the amount of prostaglandin you have in your system some way determines how powerful the womb contracts. If your prostaglandin level is so high, your womb is going to contract very, very powerfully and it's going to cause a more severe pain. That is what the normal physiology. Now, this is normal. I mean, this pain, you can manage it. This pain, you'll be okay. This pain is not so abnormal. But there are other conditions where your pain is too severe. This brings us to 2 types of menstrual pains. It brings us to the normal menstrual pain and abnormal menstrual pain. So for the normal menstrual pain, it's known as what? Primary dysmenorrhea. The abnormal menstrual pain is known as secondary dysmenorrhea. Primary dysmenorrhea is normal, right? So that's the normal pain you have. If you see a medical doctor and the medical doctor prescribe NSAIDs for you, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, example, ibuprofen, diclofenac, mefenamic acid, the pain is going to stop because that medicine is going to block the prostaglandin that is causing the powerful contraction. But for the abnormal one, no matter the amount of NSAIDs you take, it will not go because that is not the cause of the pain. How does the abnormal menstrual pain come about? So for the abnormal menstrual pain, you have to have an underlying disease. There are 5 diseases that I'm coming to mention. Number 1, endometriosis. When you talk about endometriosis, it means that the tissues of the lining of the womb are being grown somewhere else. You can find that tissue on the ovary, on the fallopian tube, somewhere outside the womb. That is where the tissues are growing. So when it's menstruation, that tissues now undergo that same process and now cause pain. Do you get me? Another one is ovarian cysts. Ovarian cysts too can lead to pain during what? Menstruation. Fibroids can also cause pain during menstruation. Adenomyosis, where you have the tissues of the lining of the womb being grown on the muscles of the womb, that can also cause secondary dysmenorrhea. Last one, and the most important one to me, is pelvic inflammatory disease. When you have infections of your genital tract, that one can cause severe pain during menstruation. So to treat this, you have to identify the cause. You have to go to the hospital. We do investigation for you to know that this is the actual cause of your pain, whether endometriosis, fibroid, ovarian cyst, adenomyosis, PID, so that we treat the cause and you'll be fine forever. Now, how do you differentiate primary dysmenorrhea from secondary dysmenorrhea? In other words, how do you differentiate normal menstruation from abnormal menstruation? Listen to me. This is very important. For normal menstruation, the pain starts 6 to 12 months after your first menstruation. And that pain is constant. It doesn't become worse. It's the same pain you feel out throughout your menstruation. Aside that pain is usually at the center, it's midline, and it radiates to the back or to your thighs. Aside that, when you take NSAIDs, that pain should resolve. Also, that pain is not associated with any fever, it's not associated with any abnormal uterine bleeding. For the abnormal menstrual pain, that pain is very sudden. It worsens over time. It's very, very severe. That pain is usually unilateral. It can be at the right side or the left side, but never in the midline. That pain is associated with abnormal uterine bleeding. Also, when you're taking NSAIDs, that pain does not go. Also, that pain may be associated with fever, it may be associated with chills, it may be associated with vigors, it may be associated with a lot of things. At this point, you should know whether the menstrual cramps you feel is normal or abnormal. See, if it's a normal menstrual cramp, this is what you do to manage it. When you're experiencing the pain, I mentioned NSAIDs, right? You can consult a medical doctor, a pharmacist. The reason why I'm asking you to consult these health professionals is that NSAIDs are not for everybody. If you have peptic ulcer disease, you cannot take NSAIDs. If you are someone who has a kidney issue, you cannot take NSAIDs. So you always have to consult a health professional. The second thing is that you can use a hot water bottle or a hot pad. You put it at the lower abdomen. Now, what this does is that it's going to, I told you that during the contraction, it contracts the vessels, right? So it causes pain. Now, when you do that, it's going to relax the vessels and allow blood to flow there. It's going to reduce your pain. The third way is also to do some minor exercises like walking, yoga exercises. This one helps to release natural painkiller. It's called endorphins to help you battle this thing. If you do all these things and you are still experiencing the pain, you can text your medical doctor. Oral contraceptive can be prescribed and you are going to be fine. If all these things are not helping you, visit the hospital for further investigations to be done. Thank you very much. If this video is helpful, kindly like, subscribe, share, and follow me. I love you all.